So what we're going to be talking about now is automation and AI and revolutionizing architecture and engineering. I'm going to stay away from construction with this one, but we could hit that on future sessions. I started out with ChatGPT. I wanted to feed it a request to give me a starter joke. And I'm going to cut to the chase because ChatGPT is really bad with humor. So fortunately, AI is not going to replace those of us that like to use humor. So I said, give me a funny starter joke for a presentation about automation and design. And it said, architect, what did it say? I lost it. Doesn't matter. It wasn't funny.
You said yourself it doesn't do well with humor, so
Yeah. So I'm going to give a couple of quick quotes here because I know there's a lot of concern about AI in design and how it's going to affect us. And this is from an article that was about automation, and it's really talking about how it's just kind of quietly going to be working away in the background, and it's ultimately going to be working on things that humans can't possibly solve because there are too many variables, or it's working on too large data sets. And this one from the AIA, as you can expect, they are still plugging away for maintaining architects in the workplace. But AI can help with increasing efficiencies, but when it comes to reliability, stability, and functionality, you can't substitute the expertise. All right, so it's poll time. And fun fact, that little kid is now 17 years old, but that has been around for a long time, that meme. So I'm going to launch this poll. Let me know if you can see it.
not yet.
Hmm.
Maybe I don't though, because I'm a host.
Today, can you see the poll?
He's a
When I
co-host
first
too.
logged in, I could see the poll if it was
Oh,
the question poll but not right now.
all right. Maybe we can do this later because it was just a couple of quick questions. One,
Oh, it
is
says
your
94% of participated.
participated?
So
Yeah, 84 of 89. Good. Question one, is your firm using any AI tools in your work? And if so, what tools? Chatbots, image generators, note takers, model generators, analyticals, or other? So that's really cool. And we're going to talk about that in a little while here. So I'm going to close that, go back to the presentation because, oops, go away, poll.
sorry, messing with things.
Yeah, what's going on here?
I guess we will share the answers to the poll after the fact. I don't know whether everybody
Thanks.
was able to see those.
Yeah, that's wonky.
Well,
Um,
the hosts got a different view, I think.
yeah, I think so
Hard
too.
to say.
It was as expected that some
But
are using AI, but not many, and it's sort of the chatbots and a few other things. But a lot of people are just dipping their toe into it. So I just wanted to show this graph, the top 5 of these professions that are going to be exposed to AI and automation are all of the things that we do in the design industries, including admin tasks, legal liability exposure, studies of life and physical sciences. We all deal with business and finance and also community engagement. So all of these things are going to, in some form or fashion, be affected by automation. So I want to kind of throw this up here because I want to connect the dots for everybody and what we're going to be talking about today. So from initial text prompt, we're going to be able to generate an outline, develop a full presentation with imagery that is developed, ultimately moving to an optimized and analyzed conceptual model, full building information model, and ultimately to a full set of CDs. So some incredible stuff happening here. So we're going to talk about specifically the Office admin tasks, presentation and visualization tools, and some next-gen ideas. So for Office and admin, meeting minutes. Do not be afraid of meeting minutes because I'm going to flip over here to Fireflies, and Design Collective is starting to use Fireflies as an AI note taker. And it's interesting. So these are all the meetings that I have collected with Fireflies. So I'm not taking any meeting minutes at all. I'm just going to click on this one, and we're going to talk about swap here in a few minutes. But it ultimately gives me a meeting summary. It gives me the outline of discussion points, and it even gives me where those chapters happen. And so you can jump right to those in the recording. Gives me some general notes and some action items. Those are the most important part of the meeting minutes, right? And it gives me a whole transcript. So ultimately I can, there we go. There's the poll results. So
and
I
also
can,
Emily shared them on the mural, so you guys can
okay,
get to them.
excellent. Now I can copy all of this into my meeting minute template and send it out to the client. I can even jump to specific areas about where there were questions asked. So there are lots of things to be gained from using this kind of platform. So Fireflies, as I said, typically architects in a firm the size of Design Collective will spend about $500,000 a year writing meeting minutes, which is a crazy amount of spent time if you think about it. So we're really trying to condense that amount of time. All right, ChatGPT. Here we go. We can use it to write text for a proposal. We can use it to draft an email in the tone of Barack Obama, for instance, or write a letter. But I'm going to show a demonstration of it generating Python code to run in Dynamo and create content in Revit. So here we go. I'm going to set this to run in high quality mode. For some reason, it does not do that automatically. So I asked it to give me a series of nodes to create levels, grids, views, and sheets. So it's giving me different Python codes for each of these functions, which is what I asked it to do. Task 3, create the views, and then place the views on the sheets. So as you can see, I can copy that code directly into a Python node in Dynamo. And here we are in Revit 24 dark mode. So I've generated new levels, and I will say that, give a caveat that there's some editing that needs to be done because the API isn't necessarily exposed completely. So ChatGPT cannot review that in the World Wide Web. So it doesn't know all the ins and outs of doing this stuff. But when I hit run, it created the grids, it created all the levels. You can see over on the left side, all of the MEP floor plans have been created, and it dropped them all on sheets. So that was obviously sped up, but it really only took me about 20 minutes from inception of typing in the initial prompt to creating the information in Revit.
Amazing. I did some like very basic asks in ChatGPT, like, create element types. And it was surprisingly really good. But
Yeah,
seeing it to
it
that
really
level
is.
is amazing with the different tasks.
As long as it doesn't do humor, we're fine. All right.
No humor, to Python to
Upcodes.
Dynamo, we're good.
So
Noted.
Upcodes is an online code research platform, and it's one of those things where we spend a lot of time doing it, and it's repetitive. Every project we have to do it because we have to do code review sheets, right? So for each jurisdiction, it's all listed over here in on Upcodes, but they have a new feature called Copilot. And in Copilot, I can study my jurisdiction, and I can pick the code year, and I can pick the building type. So let's do multifamily residential. And I'm going to just ask, what are the design criteria to when a multi-story stair for a high rise. I'm hoping it's understanding my misspellings. Yep. So it's getting a multi-story egress stair. You can see it's pulling diagrams already. It's referencing the code sections that are relevant to the Maryland jurisdiction. So it's talking about stair size, and this is not a recording. This is all live, by the way. So you can see it is pulling all the reference sections, and I can copy this text into my code review report and continue on with my building design. So I'm going to jump back out of this. Whoops. So we've done some initial office tasks, and now we're going to start talking about how we can put presentations together. And these are the kind of the lifeblood of architects and how we gain approvals to actually win a project or move on into next design stages. So I will say the presentation that I'm showing you was developed with Google Slides AI. So I typed in a prompt and it gave me a whole set of slides. Obviously, it's been heavily edited afterwards, but some of the images it gave me, I did leave in here. And then PowerPoint new, we're going to look at in a second. So Tome is what we're going to look at specifically, and I can type a text prompt, and it's going to give me a series of slides. So here's a recording of that. And I'm going to prompt it to give me a thought leadership piece of 8 slides about future of multifamily design. So it's pretty incredible what it's going to throw together here. It's giving me case studies of new design projects. It's going to give me some of the new design features that people are incorporating into multifamily design. Areas for innovation, how people are proposing and showcasing their ideas, the importance of sustainability. So you can see, it's obviously not something I'm going to just hit publish on. You have to edit it and make it your own. But I've already shortcut about an hour's worth of work just to get started in this template. And I can set up your own company templates within here also.
Very cool.
Okay. So PowerPoint.new is, so now that I've developed my template and my presentation, PowerPoint.new, all of you can do this right now. Just go to that website, PowerPoint.new, sign in with your Microsoft credentials, and you can pull in a current PowerPoint presentation or just use a standard one. And you click the little down arrow next to present. And I hit rehearse with coach. See, I should have done that more. And what that's going to do is you're going to present it to nothing but the computer with your camera on, and it's going to record you doing this, and it's then going to give you some reactions. And it's going to give you things like, how many times did I say or use filler words? How was my pace? Did I go too fast or too slow? Did I raise and lower my pitch in order to keep the audience interested? How was my body language? All of those things, it's going to let you get better at presenting. So we've done our presentation, we've prepared the slides. Now we need to develop the imagery. And these are the things that, we all convey design ideas through imagery. So we're going to look at 3 of those tools: Midjourney, LookX, and Project Virus.
So Midjourney, just heads up.
Okay, thank you.
We're having fun.
We're definitely going to go beyond that, but sorry, but this will be recorded. So this is a Midjourney prompt from 2022, Donald Trump and Barack Obama playing basketball. Here's the 23 version. So you can see how far it's come in just a matter of months. So you can imagine next year what this is even going to be capable of. LookX is a very much focused on a similar platform, very much focused on architectural renderings. So I fed into it a sketch of an elementary school, and it brought back, I prompted it to give me a brick and gray metal panel elementary school with a forest in the background. And you can see it gave me several passable images. It gave me a parking lot. It did not give me the school buses I asked for. It does have plugins for SketchUp and Rhino. Virus by Evolve Lab is kind of my favorite because it uses your geometry, Revit, SketchUp, and Rhino as the substrate for the text prompt renderings that it's going to generate. So here we are in Revit. I'm going to hit start. It is going to open Virus, and it's the current just base model 3D view. I can change how stylistic I want it to get, how creative I want it to get, and my text prompt is light beige building, dark brown brick bands, and a dark granite base. And you can see it took me about 6 seconds to render that out. It gave me the dark bands, it gave me the dark base. And then I'm going to change the prompt and ask it to render the sidewalk as red brick. Unfortunately, Virus at the time didn't know that the floor in the foreground was a sidewalk, so it didn't know what to do with that, and it just kind of didn't do anything. But Virus also has an online platform, and I was able to drag a sketch of a famous hotel in Barcelona directly onto the platform. And I'm going to ask it for some renderings. And it's cool. Hello?
Oh, no. Keep going.
Okay.
I think that was
and it's going to, I just asked it for a modern glassy hotel on the waterfront. It made some really cool sort of moody images of a glassy hotel. And you can see it's almost like an island floating in water with boats around it and mist. And you can, once it's done rendering those four, I can pick which one I like best, and I'm going to refine it a little bit. And I want to take this area and tell it, it's not a boardwalk. I want this to be all sandy beach. So I can quickly modify the prompt to just re-render that area, and it's going to give me a little sandy beach area. So I went from just a quick hand sketch to full sort of impressionistic rendering in just a couple of minutes. I'm actually going to skip this one, but Photoshop has very similar capabilities where I can use generative fill, I can extend the extents of an image, and it will use AI to fill those things out. All right, so let's get into some next-gen stuff. Forma is, as alluded to earlier, formerly SpaceMaker. And the exciting things about Forma is not necessarily its ability to grab terrain or the context, but its ability to do lots of proposed buildings and structures, and it does analysis of these each time you make a modification. It is constantly giving you takeoffs of the different space types. And then the AI comes in when you want to do different studies of sunlight, of daylight, of wind comfort, and microclimates. So each time I make a geometry modification, the AI is running in the background to understand what is happening to the environment around you. Hypar. Many of us know Hypar. They have now started to incorporate some AI into their platform. So here we are. I'm going to mute this guy because it's got some funky music running, but the text prompt is give me a podium building, and it's going to run all of based on the text prompt, it's going to run all of these different workflows to fill out the grid, the floors, add the roof, give me the full building structure, give me the facade, and it's also giving data analytics of all of those things so that I can understand how much facade, how much skin I have, how much steel I have. The prompt has been modified. Now it's just a podium building with a couple stories of residential on top. And now we can start to look at modifying the geometry a little bit. And again, text prompt was the seed for all of this. All right, so I alluded to swap earlier. I'm not going to play this video. I'm just going to kind of describe what's happening. So swap is going to take and study what you are typically document. So they're going to review over the course of several months how a firm documents buildings. And it's very much limited to multifamily and K through 12 buildings because it's got a lot of repetition to those typologies. And what ultimately Swap is going to do is return a full BIM to you and a full set of construction documents. So this one is a little bit scary, a little bit. I'm a little bit skeptical, simply
Yeah.
because does it really learn well enough to document like we document? Will we
Maybe if
avoid
you work
liability?
in one jurisdiction as well.
Right, right. So this is definitely one to keep an eye on, and because this has the potential to affect positions potentially. So let's stay tuned with that one. Augmenta, I
Scary.
love this
Definitely
one.
scary.
I'm excited for Augmenta because now we've moved to full set of CDs, but this is going to automate the building systems designs. So Augmenta was founded by several gentlemen from Autodesk. They decided to go in a different direction and incorporate AI much more into systems designs. It currently only is doing electrical systems, but what it's doing is it's allowing the designers to upload their model. It will do an analysis of whether you can what's best. So it's going to do a scatter chart of cable trays versus a conduit delivered system. So here we see the routing for conduits. It's obviously everything's savings, but I'm pretty excited for what this might do for the MEP design industry. So we've hopefully connected the dots from text prompt all the way through to a full set of construction documents to deliver to an owner. Just to conclude, AI is not going anywhere, but our jobs are safe mostly, we think. We are going to have to change, though. Our competition, as we saw from the poll results, they are going to be already using some of these technologies. We can use them right now, as I demonstrated. A lot of them are available now.
Well, and I will ask one question before we
Yep,
leave. We're a little over time, and I
please.
apologize for those of you guys who couldn't stay with us. We will share the link as soon as we have it. What would you say to the security of using some of these platforms? The concern that maybe companies should have with their
Yeah.
general users using this for proposals,
So
for example.
I'm the chief IT officer for Design Collective, so that's like my first and foremost concern. And I am not concerned about things like fireflies. Using ChatGPT is typically fine. The problem is when there are so many other knockoffs that are trying to do the same thing, they become playing grounds for hackers. So I would very much stay to the tried and true and not necessarily look at trying everything that you read about on Instagram, TikTok, or X.
And don't put anything in that's confidential or secure. Keep that
Correct.
probably outside of those tools.
Keep
Thank
it
you guys
outside
all
your
so
door.
much for presenting. Those presentations were amazing. And I feel like all of them could probably use a part two.